Champions. I felt like I was going to die just then. I was trying to slam down some banana bread before I did the stream because I know I won't be able to eat anything for like the next 3 hours. And it got stuck in my esophagus. I had to slam down some water. I felt like I was going to explode. That was fun. How are we all? Let's start with some breaking news. Just heard about this now. I think it's one of our 2 oil refineries in Australia. It's just caught fire. Let's have a look. Interesting. It doesn't process much, but we don't process a lot here to begin with. Explosions have been reported. That's fun. Huge fire at Fever Energy's Geelong oil refinery overnight continues to blaze out of control. How come it's brand new news if it was on fire overnight? Is it just that journalists just only wake up at 7 a.m? Oil refinery in Geelong. Substantial flames billowing into the sky. Wow. Viva also operates 1,300 Shell petrol stations across the country, runs a fuel and oil distribution network that supplies 25% of Australia's fuel. There's also the sole Australian manufacturer of aviation fuel. That's fun. I think there might be a few cancelled flights this year, thanks to everything going on. It doesn't have to happen. It's all just insane people. But this is a, who knows what the cause is, but it appears to be a possibly industrial accident of some sort. Not a lot of news from the major news outlets just yet, but like I say, it only broke for 14 minutes ago, an hour ago. We've got some ABC coverage here. Bring that up to date. How's the sound? Everything all right? An unprecedented fire has broken out at one of Australia's two operational oil refineries, with residents in parts of Geelong told to stay indoors due to smoke. A watch and act has since been issued for suburbs in Geelong, with residents warned to close windows and keep out of hazardous smoke. Yeah. Right when we don't need that shit happening. And there's the watch and act area. Obviously around the bay there and probably the nearby ports. Well, that's fun. No one's been injured, so that's good, but still. A bit concerned that logistics will pretty much cease here this year, so what that will do to the local economy, it will devastate it. And I'm not sure any businesses will be able to survive, particularly small business. I don't know what we're going to do when just all the cargo flights just get cancelled from lack of fuel. I don't know how we're going to contend with that. I'm trying to create a scenario in my head where it'll be okay, but I just don't see it being okay. Yeah, one of two refineries. I'm seeing a lot of my friends complaining about the current government closing down the refineries, but they conveniently forget that it was actually the other party that closed them all. Anyway. So what are we doing today? Drinking coffee. You're just a guitar amp fluffer. Dave Castro, are you a bot or what? You commented that yesterday. Let's look at your channel history. Channel activity. Monday live stream. It's still Sunday afternoon. Okay, so you're from California. No, I don't think you're a bot. Because you are... Although you did learn how to spell your properly in your latest comment. You put the apostrophe, so someone must have schooled you on that one. But you did add exclamation marks, so you seem to be a little bit more urgent with today's message. Anyway, I feel really lucky. I actually just bought something from Australia and it got here in 3 days. They even paid the tariffs for me. Yeah, well, that's because it's legally required that we have to pay your fucking tariffs, Wes. Because your government's hiding the fact that you're the one paying the tariff from you. Because they want to pull the wool over your eyes and lie to you on a daily basis. But that would be factored into the price. So you paid the tariff. It was just included in the price. No, really think about it. You keep them hard for musicians to play on stage. Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, how are you all? One thing I forgot about last time, we'll do at the start of the stream, I'll do some membership gifting because it is now April and I haven't really live streamed in April. So 5 memberships going out right now. You'll get early release of videos and maybe some exclusive content, including when I occasionally do my vlog. It's always members only. Who got one? A whole bunch of names I'm not seeing, but one of them's called Loud as Fuck, so that's good. So, today, doing pretty much the same thing I did yesterday. That's a Blues DeVille. Today we've got a hot Rod Deville. Finished the Blues DeVille. Usual shit, you know. Same old, same old. Recap. That one, actually, the chassis and the cabinet was in much worse condition, but the amplifier itself wasn't too bad. There was a bit of work done to it, but we sort of cleaned everything up and a few little voicing mods to just make it a bit less uncontrolled with when pushed into overdrive. These speakers sounded a little bit boxy, a little bit lucky in the low end, so I implemented a preset depth mod to get a bit of that bottom end back. It is a bit tricky with the 10 inches, but it does have a big cabinet on its side as well, so it sounds a lot better now, a lot more usable. Put a 12A Y7 in V1 just to get its insane gain structure under control a little bit, and it's actually really nice now to play. Good reverb sounds good. The tank's in good condition. It is the original tank, but it hasn't failed yet, which is fantastic. Not a lot of trace repairs and stuff on that one. It was good we caught it when it did, so it'll probably be reliable for a long time now. Well, not really, because the base price was the same as before that. Orange gag bag was elected, and they had $700 off sale. Jesus, what did you buy, Wes? $700 off? What was the overall cost then? So this electronically is in worse condition, but physically it's in better condition. We have a shorted valve, which I confirmed on the tester. It's got a short from grid to plate, or it could be to screen. I think it was to plate, because when the valve was still warm, which is kind of fun to do, when you pull the valve straight out of the tester, go over to the Mega, chuck it on 500 volts, and then test for shorts from element to element. And I could see that there was a short from the screen, from the control grid to the plate, and it went away as the valve cooled down. And then on the other valve, there wasn't. Ooh. All right, get my exercise in. I've started doing some dumbbell stuff at home just to get my girly arms back under control. I was pretty buff when I was a site installer and a joiner, because I was wrestling fucking cabinets and sheets of board all day, big slabs of timber and machining stuff. I was actually pretty, upper body, pretty buff. But having a bitchy little tech job You gotta maintain that stuff or you'll lose it. It's all about the upper body. It's funny when I was just doing shit kicking jobs when I didn't really have any direction in life. I just wanted to hang out and play guitar and drink beer. I'm just getting crud out of the screws so I can actually get a screwdriver in there. With these screws that sit proud of the cabinet, they sort of grind up any surface they slide around on, like in the bed of your truck or whatever, and it ends up stuck in the screw head. And if you put a screwdriver in there, it can't go completely in, and it reams the screw head out. So I just use tweezers and just dig the crud out of the screw head, and that way we can actually get the screwdriver 100% in there, get full penetration, if you know what I'm saying. Yes, when I was doing, I sort of left the joinery industry and was just doing random jobs for a while. And I had a job installing playgrounds in like public parks and stuff. So digging holes by hand and cutting sleepers, doing a bit of landscaping, so wielding the chainsaw and cutting sleepers and sledgehammering stakes into the ground for retaining walls, that kind of thing. So I was pretty muscular at the time, and I think I even still had hair then, maybe not. I think I just started shaving my head. But you get these mothers out walking their kids, or whatever, or walking their dog after they drop their kids off at school, and they love to come and have a chat because I was wearing like this tight shirt and covered in sort of strategically placed dirt, and you know, it was sort of a typical, sort of stereotypical tough worker image. And it was amazing because I was probably the slimmest. I was like lowest fat content I'd ever been at that point, and it's amazing how many of these MILFs would come up and just spark up a conversation while you're working. I haven't had that since, oddly enough. They do have a bit of a fetish for tradies. Some of them, anyway. EchoFix. Okay, that's why I bought it. Yeah, EchoFix is great. They're expensive, but again, they're specialists, so they have to be expensive. Okay, Scotty, how you going, mate? Hope you're doing well. Mark, Paul, Wes, of course. I'm already chatting with you, Wes. Martin Reed, how you going, mate? 10:10 p.m. Yeah, I did actually think about you when I thought I'd better do an early stream so Martin can join us. Good evening, Brad, and all watching 10:10 p.m. here in Scotland, heading into spring now, enjoying a nice 12-year-old's Tomatin. I never really got onto the Tomatin. How do you pronounce that? Can you school me on that, Martin? Tomatin? I don't know. I should try some. I think I got like a sample bottle or something once, but should try some of their premium offerings. It'd be great if I had a bit more money to feed my whiskey habit. But it is what it is. I'll take the bottom cover off too. Scotty, yes, I can show you that. Just one sec, mate. I've got a bag handy just here, I think. I might have taken it out of the bag. Hang on, let me have a look. No. Anyway, I got the bill of materials here for. Excuse me, hiccup. Got the bill of materials here for the FYM boards. Now on them. You got a pen, Scotty? You can always rewind. So they're fusible, 100 ohm, 5%. Vichy. You ready? NFR258001000JA500. That's the part number. No spaces, no dashes or anything. Dude, try sitting in front of a computer for 30 years. Yeah, well, that's what fucked me, because I left that physical stuff, and then I got a desk job, essentially, where I went into drafting and CNC programming and project management. And after working on the floor and working on site, it's hard on your body, man, but you get massive thighs from carrying shit up and down stairs, because all the houses we worked on were like on the side of cliffs, because it was friggin' $6 to $12 million houses, Whale Beach, that kind of area, Newport, rich fucks. I don't know how there's so many rich fucks when the world's gone to shit. Hey, just having a look closely at what probably killed those valves. Yeah, so one of these was dead short, and you can see the logo there, it's gone grey instead of blue. So we've lost bias supply on that, and that's what it showed on the tester when I put it in. Slowly started ramping it up, because it shows the bias voltage on the tester. The bias voltage, instead of being minus 50 something or minus 40, it went to like minus 2 as soon as the plate voltage came up. So that was indicating that there was leakage or a short inside the valve. And having a look at the valve board, I can see almost every octal socket pin is cracked. So what's probably happened is there was an intermittent connection to one of the pins that's damaged the valve. Now the valve has the ability to damage the amp. So that's also why I don't sell valves, because a bad amp can damage a good set of valves, and a bad set of valves can damage a good amp, and a bad amp that's just damaged a good set of valves, if you use those valves in another amp, now those valves can damage your amp as well. So it's just so much liability there. I don't know how anyone makes money selling valves. I guess they just have a massive margin to make up for the losses, but yeah. Me too, when I framed houses, yeah. How long ago was that, Mark? Tomatin. Okay. My back got worse when I started doing tech support in a cubicle. I think tech support's not great for the brain either. It's just having a YouTube channel. I'm expected to be tech support free of charge to someone I've never had any business relationship with, so they haven't bought anything off me, but they're on the other side of the planet, and they just know that I exist, and they've found a post on Facebook from 10 years ago where I fixed something, and now they expect me free of charge to fix it for them over the phone. Had a bloke the other day. They're usually pretty polite, but sometimes they get angry if you don't help them, eh? It's like, where on my forehead does it say that I am free tech support? Where in the world is there free tech support for anything? Like, it's forums. Go and figure it out yourself. Just use a forum. But a lot of the time it's some PA or studio monitor that has been obsolete for 10 years anyway, and it was never really that good to begin with. I say, mate, just go buy a new one. And you get the life story. Oh, I can't afford a new one. I need to fix what I've got. You know, things are so tough. I'm like, yeah, they're tough for everyone, including me. My rent just went up 25% here. Just ran up 10% at home. 5% or something. All my suppliers in the last week, I'm not shitting you, every supplier has sent an email saying, we are going to be including a surcharge of 5 to 10% on every order temporarily, due to this global socio-economic situation. And that's before the fuel shortages have even hit here. Because literally the end of this month, start of next month, is when we're going to use up the last shipment that came here since before this self-imposed crisis by the USA. So we haven't even seen the real effect. It's just been speculative and like speculative predictions and people hoarding and stockpiling stuff that's caused any issues in the price rise over here so far. But there is also the fact that crude oil being a global commodity, if something happens that changes the spot price all over the world without it necessarily having, any shortages have physically occurred yet. So all these companies that I use are already just saying, we're going to charge you more. temporarily. But you remember COVID when all the prices went up? And then they all said it was temporary, it'd recover. But it's capitalism, man. If they figure out that people are able to pay a higher price, they never put the price back down. Or if they do, it doesn't go down anywhere near close to where it was before. So this is just a big inflationary thing. And it's going to hit everyone really hard. And I don't forget any names of people who voted for this shit. I'll remember you forever. He's a very dirty cabinet. Now, I've got to get the reverb tank out in order to disconnect the leads. Oh, one other thing that happened to this, I put a new set of valves in there quickly, just tested it under controlled conditions to make sure it wasn't going to blow up those new valves. And did get some signal out of it for a fraction of a second, and then it stopped and came back and stopped. And measuring the plate voltage on V1A, it was going between 0 and full plate voltage. And on the other side of the plate load resistor, it had full voltage. And removing the valve, removing the current draw, the voltage was still non-existent. So R4 just happened to fail under observation. And it cooled it down with some freezer spray and heated it up just to confirm that was the issue. And it did come and go, but then it left and stayed gone. So those shitty carbon film resistors that Fender use, even though these ones look different to some of the other ones have like a tan sort of color, whereas these are more like a light cream. These are failure prone as well. I don't know where they get such cheap parts from. I posted the mouse link. Good work. Good work, Wes. Hello, Brad and friends. G'day, Robbie. Glad I was able to catch one of the morning streams from Australia. Yep, I shouldn't have listened to the doctors and should have stayed working. Well, I mean, working's sometimes not the best physical thing because you're just trying to get the job done, so you sometimes don't think about your stance and like self-preservation as much as you should because you're just thinking about the job. So ideally, the best thing is to have a relatively sedentary job, but then have time to physically exercise in a controlled manner, and then you'll be good for a really long time. But having time is one of the things that's going to get worse and worse. I'm finding myself, I'm working between 10 and 15 hours every day, and I'm still way behind. I just can't catch up. And it seems like every year we've got to work harder and harder for less and less. And that's going to be dramatically worse in the second half of this year. We're going to have to work so hard for so little. All because of a war of choice. Hit the like button. Yes. Do what Martin says, because he's Scottish and he'll kick your ass if you don't. You ever work on fancy mic pre's like 1073, etc.? Pretty rarely. I've had a few 500 series modules come in, for which I got some specialized test gear, so I can basically test the 500 series modules outside of the rack. Because the tricky thing is when you've got like a backplane connector which supplies all the signal and voltage, how do you work on a module when it's in isolation where you sort of can't? Let me just get my ladder because I'm a short ass. So there's a really good company in Australia, another great Australian company. There's a lot of stuff gets made here, champions. I just want you to know. JLM Audio. Oh, hiccups. because of my choking on banana bread before. Sorry about the amp in the way, hang on. Alright, JLM Audio. I'll block the light as well. They make 500 series testers. So you can, well, you can see I've done my usual resistor lifty thing. So these are power supply series resistors, which work like fuses. I'll put some fusible 1 ohm resistors in there, and you've got an LED there to show that all your rails are active, and that's your input and output, and your power, which is a 5-pin XLR there, and that's powered by this just switch mode adapter with a custom plug on it. That plugs into your power, and then your input and output go in through there balanced. You plug that into the, oh, that's the, you got to line up your right pins. So pin 1 is marked there. So yep, there's 2 series. There's one that's got a longer connector as well. Shove that in there, then you shove that onto your module. Now you've got signal in, signal out, and power. You can work on the module and take measurements without it having been concealed, housed in a rack. So that was invaluable. I had a couple of warm audio modules, and I think there was, yeah, there was just a bunch of modules that a studio guy bought around. He had like a few dozen of them, but he waited until he had 3 or 4 that didn't work and then brought them in. But that was a godsend. That little unit made me be able to test stuff and get access to the thing with it not in the rack. COVID and work from home, which I'm still doing, put a serious hurt on my shape. I used to work miles a day even in an office. Now all I get is walking up and down stairs. Well, get out there, Robbie. Where do you live? Surely there's somewhere walkable nearby. Maybe not if you're in like middle of nowhere, but get a standing desk, guys. They say sitting is the new smoking and you don't want DVT. Yeah, Michelle got one of them for at home, and obviously I'm standing all day because I've got a 900 high desk here, which is workbench height, and I try to go for a walk. I've got to start going every morning. I've been so guilty about not getting work done that I haven't gone for walks recently as much as I should have. When I was 35, I could still do handstands on skateboards. What? Are you serious, Mark? Pretty amazing if so. Fuck the military industrial complex. Indeed, Scotty, indeed. I live in a very walk unfriendly road. I actually have to drive somewhere just to walk. I need to move. That sucks, man. It does so much for your mental health living somewhere that's walkable, to be honest. Gives you a sense of community. It makes you feel like you're not alone because people are out there having fun and doing stuff, and it feels vibrant. Like down here by the river, the parks and stuff there, even on a weekday you go there, there's people everywhere. It's so good. Kids running around having fun. People playing cricket on the little oval there. People running and walking, bike riding. You got like 3 pubs across the river from each other. You got restaurants down the other end. You got expensive restaurants, cheap restaurants. You've got food carts and stuff. And that was all the local government realizing that they needed to stimulate that sort of public property to stimulate the local economy as well in turn, you know. And then you go across to where there's like less footpaths and stuff, and it's just all the shops are dead and empty, and the real estate really don't care. Like the landlords don't care because the value of the real estate is rising so rapidly and so disproportionately in comparison to the rest of the economy that they can just sit there on an empty property and it just increases in value, which is completely fucked. We need to stop that. We need to make them pay so much tax that we need to make landlords pay so much tax that it's within their interest to either sell the fucking place or rent it out for a reasonable cost. If it's uninhabited, we need to make them pay through the fucking nose. And by uninhabited, I mean front doors open less than 5 days a week in commercial areas where it's commercially zoned. And if it is uninhabited in a residential area, I should look at water usage and electricity usage. But then I guess I just start a grow house, so. Good thing I stand when I play guitar. I was watching this video by this thrash band, I forget who they were, but they were doing studio takes, like really technical guitar, and the guy, because he was brought up on playing live, which is fucking awesome. Super technical guitar player, but he recorded all his takes standing up in the studio, which I thought was pretty cool. Temporarily is a lie. Fucking oath it is, Scotty. Ever since this fucking war originally started, gas here went from $4 to $7 a gallon. Yeah, well, shit, that's fucking high for, I guess you're in LA though, aren't you? Whereas, that's really high for the US, because we're paying about $8 or $9 a gallon over here. But, yeah, $4.50, so we're paying about double what you are, Scotty, and I'm talking once I've converted everything to the US and gallons, US dollar and gallons. I've never voted for Republican. That's a bit of a stretch, Wes. I think we've got to come up with a better term than that. But the name calling and everything's just... That's what they want. They want to form, you know, tribalism. You should just call out what it is. Slaves to capital. Puppets of the oligarchy. Technocrats, that's right. Techno-fascism. It's fucking every morning you wake up and you're just like, what fucking shit's happened today? You like, you don't want to read the news, but you kind of have to plan anything. Filled up the car yesterday, only making essential trips now, and the lady at the petrol station asked me if I'd rather have petrol or a nuclear bomb. Just mentioned the Epstein files. Good on you, Martin. You got whiskey, mate. You can power your car off whiskey. I had a question on a lab test. What happens when you hit an op amp with freeze spray? I said it gets cold. Gaz Cal, how you going, mate? Eventually people are going to get fed up with it, and it's not just the USA, it's the world, bro. Yeah, it's the whole world, man. It's not as bad over here, but the problem is that we're in between a rock and a hard place, that we have to not... Like, we still rely on the US for so much shit. So to be honest, I think we're going to have to cozy up more to China. And the rest of the world's just going to form like a big fucking moat around the USA. And you guys can just fucking hang out in the corner and eat paste. Well, people are already fed up with it, but now they've gamed the whole system so we can't do fuck all about it. That's the problem. I mean, you look at the Democrats over there and okay, there'll be a position that's like literally 90% of the base, the electorate, like they'll poll like 90% on a certain issue, right? And then the Democrats just like, okay, we're not going to do that. It's like, you said you'd do it, and now you're not doing it. The polling's 90%. So then you primary him, and then the other person that comes in does the same shit. It's like, well, at what point is democracy now? Does it no longer exist when 90% of the population or the electorate they poll at 90% on a certain issue, and then they just do the exact opposite every fucking time. It's like, well, okay, I guess just democracy doesn't exist anymore. I'm actually Robbie F. I'm actually. Oh, he's talking to Wes. Never mind. The damage is done. It will take generations to recover. Yeah, decades at least. Mexico's screwed too, and Canada. China is mega fucked and has been, and that has nothing to do with the USA. Well, I mean, it's going to get to a point where the USA is worse than China, and China's the less evil choice, man. You know? Hey, Brad, I add you as a personal friend on Facebook. I don't accept personal friends from anyone other than personal friends and family. But you can reach out to me anytime you want, Scotty. Just talk to me on the guitar page, that's all. Hey Brad, not sure if you're much into My Bloody Valentine, but I saw them again 2 weeks ago at the Royal Albert Hall. Nice, bloody brilliant guitars. I am a fan of them. I haven't got into them yet, but Paul, good to hear from you, by the way, Paul. Hope you're enjoying life. Sounds like you are. My Bloody Valentine, it's one of those bands that I'll get into. I'll give them a time of day once I can focus 100% on them. It may be this week, maybe in 6 months' time, but I like to wait with a particularly revered band like that. I like to wait until I can fully understand them and give them the attention they deserve. Usually happens in a slightly less hectic period, so I can actually sit down and absorb it like a piece of art rather than just having it play in the background like a commodity. And question, Robbie F. Still learning my Synergy Marshall JMP module. Can you all suggest treble mid bass settings as well as gain settings for both regular and bright channels to try? Just I don't know, man. Like just tweak it and see what works. If you're asking that, I'm wondering if maybe there's something wrong with your setup, because it should sound good with everything at 12 o'clock, and then you just adjust it from there like a graphic EQ, you know? Rob French, had to stop looking at the news as much as possible for my mental health. I try to, but I feel like I'm living in dreamy land when I'm not paying attention. But yeah, I should duty cycle it, you know, like watch news on, I don't know, Wednesday when like Trade Crowder stuff comes out, skews news, and when the well-read guys release something, to just have a bit of comedy about it. Maybe watch it on a Sunday or something as well. Maybe just duty cycle it like news, like 3 out of 7 days a week, and then the other days just chill and fucking listen to art. Take money out of US politics, yes. As long as it takes millions, billions to get elected, the system will be corrupt. We need public funding of campaigns. We are moving a little bit towards that direction. I've got to read more about it, but South Australia did something to that effect where they removed all corporate donors for campaign financing. Yeah, I've got to read more about that. I'm trying to learn more about politics as I get older, because I don't think there's any excuse, particularly with the shit going on in the world. I don't think there's any excuse to not know how the system supposedly works and how it's actually working. I took my 16-year-old boy out to My Bloody Valentine gig over the last year or so. We've been listening to whole albums together. He loved the gig. One thing I've been hearing a lot these days, Paul, is a lot of people like Gen X and even earlier millennials that are taking their kids to see bands that are still active that they were into, and the kids are getting nostalgic for something that they weren't really part of a scene in. It's pretty cool for them to go see it, but I think it's also healthy. I'm not saying you're doing that, but it's also healthy for you to get involved in stuff that they like and go to their gigs maybe, or maybe they just want to be left alone. But it's also a good idea to introduce them, if you can, try and get some knowledge on the younger bands that are their age, or, you know, maybe a little bit older. And if there's any scenes happening in your area, like there's, you know, there was a bit of a, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, there was a bit like a surf punk scene happening in Australia, and particularly Sydney, Melbourne. There's like, well, at the moment, like there's so many bands coming up inspired by Wet Leg, for example. And like there's a lot of bands coming out now that are inspired by Amyl and the Sniffers and their success. So there's these little scenes coming up, and sometimes they're as small as like a suburb in Sydney. There'll be like 10 bands within a couple of blocks of each other. It's getting less and less so as the younger people are getting pushed out of the city. So then you're getting some real aggressive types of music from the frustration of what it's like living in the suburbs. So in the suburbs, it's a bit more sprawling, but there'll be some real aggressive music out in the suburbs, which is really cool. I need to get out there and see more gigs. The other thing I'm hearing off younger people in particular, because I do ask when young people come in, I try to probe them with questions about what music they're into, what scene they're into, what gigs they've gone to recently, particularly younger bands as well, because, you know, guitarists come in here and get stuff sorted get stuff repaired. So I asked them about what the scene's like, what the gigs are like, you know, what the crowds, the patrons are like. One thing that's popping up is talking to some venue sorry, I can't speak. I need more coffee. Talking to some venue managers. A lot of people are going to gigs and not spending a fucking cent. They'll pay for the ticket or whatever, but they won't drink. They won't drink alcohol in particular. They'll drink water. They won't eat food. They won't go to the bistro. They won't gamble. They won't spend any money in the venue. So that's what's causing some of these venues to close, because they're not. A lot of the time they rely on that spending to be able to stay open. What's the point of having a fucking live venue where you pay the band to be there and then everyone that turns up doesn't spend any money? So that's a big problem, and part of that goes back to the capital class sucking all the money out of our pockets. So that's what's causing our life to get worse in every measurable way. People can't spend money anymore, and it's fucked. They need to be able to go out. I'm not paying $10 for a fucking beer. I fucking am. Jesus, I pay $20 for a beer. I don't give a fuck. If I'm out, I'm having a beer. I don't give a fuck what it costs. You can charge me $50 for a beer and I'm having a beer. But yeah, the local breweries and stuff around here, you're talking $13-15 for a beer. If it's a real hectic one, their base beers will be about $8 or $10. But that's Australian dollars too. So what's that, like $3 American? But they'll have like a, what they often have is, and it gets people out, is they'll have like a special night where the local pub here will have $17 dinners. Fucking amazing. You know, like you get a 250 gram rump and you get discount $17. I think if you're a member it's 15. And if you go there at happy hour, which is from 5 till 7, the beers are like $6 or something. So that was pretty cool. It's often cheaper to just go there than it is to buy shit and cook food. I buy merch from the band. So that's the next problem. So all the merch I bought recently has been really low quality. The big thing is you buy a t-shirt and it's a large or whatever, and it's cool the first time you wear it or second time you wear it. You wash it a couple of times and then it shrinks upwards and you feel like it's fucking 1987 and you're a dude on stage with bare midriff. And they seem to always shrink upwards, and they're really thin, shitty fabric, or they're just a weird cut and they just don't sit right. That sucks. I'd rather pay $100 for a band's t-shirt that's really good quality. AS Color is probably the best sort of blank t-shirt brand around here. I'd rather pay like $100 for a really good t-shirt that's going to last me 5-6 years or 10 years, and you know, look pretty cool as it ages, rather than get a real cheap shitty one for $20. You know, goes back to buy once, cry once. You buy stuff cheap, it's going to suck. There's a venue near my neck of the woods that touts itself as a live venue and it pays musicians nothing. They can put a hat out. That's fucking ridiculous. There's even some bars that charge the band to play. They should be shamed out of existence. I don't mind seeing those places fucking go down. Pay to play is horse shit. Fucking oath. I can buy a 6-pack for that and get drunk in the parking lot. Doesn't sound like much fun though, does it, Scotty? But yeah, I think there needs to be a lot more underground shows, that kind of thing. Fuck your licensing, fuck your laws, fuck everything. Just play and then disappear before the authorities get wind of it. That shit needs to happen more often. Good thing I drink bitter. They're about £5-6, which is cheaper than lagers or American IPAs, etc. I love a good American IPA though. But yeah, I can drink a VB if I need to. It's fine. I use Next Level shirts and they're great. It's not hard, people. Yeah, I think Teespring and all those companies have a lot to answer for because they're just really shitty quality. again, if I get merch, I'll be getting the highest quality t-shirts I can, and you'll pay for them, but it'll be worth it because it'll be great. So where were we before we went on that tangent? Got the dusty reverb tank out, unscrewed at least. Oh, dust bunnies. I'm going to get allergies from this. Pay to play is big in LA. Fuck LA then. I reckon LA would be the last place in the world I'd want to live, eh? No offense, Wes. But Jesus, no walkability. Just flat expanse, strodes everywhere. No public transport. I don't know how like the music scene got so big there, because it's not really compatible with art, that city. Maybe I'm talking out my ass, like I often do. Coachella is happening right now, but the bands aren't particularly interesting. Bieber, Wet Leg. Wet Leg are great. I love Wet Leg. I heard today that Ticketmaster lost the Monopoly lawsuit. Good. Ticketmaster deserves to be pummeled into the ground. LA has a lot of cool music venues. Yeah, I just can't figure out how it managed to become like a popular music place when it's so incompatible with human life. I'm being dramatic, but you know what I mean. Like, being able to get around, public transport would be great. I would have thought like New York, if anything, would have been a much better live venue, because at least it's got a fucking train network. Because you go to see a gig, you hit the piss, you can't fucking drive. Oh, ow, that hurt. Can't fucking drive anywhere. So trains are good for that reason. I'm just popping this this metal tab. Just gonna bend it in a little to aid with removing the cabinet. Oops, shit, didn't mean to do that. Don't tap on the screws to bend those tabs in, because you'll eject the little swaged in threaded insert. And don't force it, because you'll rip the foil off. The other thing you can do is put a clamp on the bench and just spread the cheeks a bit. Bit of fungus in this amp. There we go. Reverb cable clamp to undo, which I forgot about. Alright, so it's all original speakers, those shitty Eminence things. A greasy residue on the speaker basket. Hope that's not from the transformer. Get rid of the cabinet. All the random shit that's in it. Guitar picks and labels and stuff. Alright. Part of a dead cockroach. That's lovely. The old Noise suppression doing its job again with the vacuum. Ow. Yeah, venues can't stay in business. All because of speculative real estate investors, Wes, and greedy landlords. Get out the guillotines. Time for a revolution. Forgotten gear restoration. Show me a nice trick using a clamp to hold a chassis of an old amp in place while removing the screws. Okay. I'd get the mask on if I saw cockroaches. Asthma sucks. Yeah, it's the cockroach shit that triggers me as well. I've already vacuumed some of it up. I saw it fall out of the cabinet. Oh, Jesus, Rob, you're doing your taxes. Yucky. Yucky. I got a tax agent and accountant, and even still, it's a pain in the ass. You guys got different tax periods over there, though. Ours is June, July. Yours is at the turn of the year, isn't it? Due at midnight. And here you are watching me. Good on you, Rob. Good old ADD strikes again. Go and do your taxes, Rob. Piss off, everyone. Tell Rob to piss off and do his taxes. Coffee. Wish I had Brad's carpentry skills so I could make a nice amp stand. Just buy one of the quick locks, mate. April 15, is it? Oh, that's today over there. Shit. Fuck off, Rob. Go and do your taxes. You're not a billionaire. You don't get to not pay tax, alright? Well, at least I don't think you're a billionaire. I don't know for sure. I dare say if you're a billionaire, you'd have someone else doing your taxes. Martin Reed, sorry, I'm just scrolling back. Missed a lot of stuff that scrolled down automatically. Martin Reed, never been in a pub for years. I'm a smoker and enjoy a smoke with my beer and nip. Happy to be in here listening to Brad rather than the shit in the local pub. Look, I do enjoy local pubs. I like people watching and I like the atmosphere. I like the hustle bustle. I like being in the city. I like being where there's things happening and people getting around and there's motion and movement. I do enjoy peace and quiet, but any time of the week, I'd always prefer to be out at a pub than at home or even at a friend's house. I just enjoy the randomness. It's like looking at a lava lamp. You don't know exactly what's going to happen next. It's going to be something reasonably predictable, but it's the natural variability of the public that I enjoy being in. It's soothing almost, especially when you're in the city, when no one cares about you. You can just sort of cruise along, glide along, go with the flow. No one bothers you. No one knows who you are. You can just you're like a little ninja walking around, just observing. I love that. Going to the local pub's good too, but you always run into people and they're either a good mate of yours and before you know it, you've had fucking 16 schooners. or it's like oh God, what's a word? This is why I don't like live streaming. I can never remember words. Acquaintance. Jesus, what's wrong with me? It's just like an acquaintance and it's awkward because you're like, oh, hi, yeah, how you going? Oh, what you up to? How's work? You know, okay, bye. You want to have a bit? Nah, oh, I'm pretty busy. Bye. Okay, and you're just like, fuck, I wish I was in the city where no one knew who I was at all. Robbie F, getting ready to reserve a spot on another rock and roll cruise for next year for beautiful wife and I. 2K each for 4 days. Constant shows, 30 plus bands. Wow, is there any particular theme to that, mate? Are they are they original bands? What? Original and covers, like a mix, or what? Gonna leave you in the background, Brad. I got shit to fix on my bench. I need to get to it. Good man. I got a $7,800 refund due to being unemployed most of last year. Really helped a lot. Cool. Don't spend it, Wes. Particularly with the current shit going on. Save it. I can't bring myself to pay someone else to do my taxes. I learned ages ago from mum and have never looked back. Fair enough. That's, man, I wish I did my own taxes when I just had a full-time job, because fuck, it was easy. But, man, doing it as a small business, holy fuck, it's difficult. They charge me like $350. I'm more than happy to pay that. I just do not have the time. What my boss used to do was take his withholding and invest it, turn it into more money to pay his taxes. What the fuck was that noise? Sounded like there was something crawling in the wall. Maybe there was. Yeah, I love a good pub. All this year, my wife and I go for a walk on a Saturday and end up for an ale. Yeah, it's so good. Especially in London, Paul. That's where you are, eh? The London pubs are fantastic. We went to one right in the middle of London in the CBD on a corner, and there's an old-timey phone booth out the front, but it just smelled like piss. So everyone stumbles out of the pub and takes a piss in the phone booth. Charming. But yeah, it was an awesome pub right on the corner there. We ended up, it was the World Cup, I think, at the time when we were over there in 2015. And we found this tiny little pub. It felt like a temporary building, but the people there were so friendly. As soon as they found out we're from Australia, before you knew it, you had 10 people around your table talking with you. And they couldn't believe that Michelle was more into sport than I was. They're like, what? I said, I don't know anything about sport. And they're like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, she's the one. And then, oh, she's the one that wears the pants, etc., etc. So, yeah, very friendly fuckers. Everyone loves an Australian when you're overseas. I don't think there's anyone that dislikes Australians. Except for maybe Bali. But they only dislike fuckwit Australians. And to be fair, so does everyone. So, there's a I don't know, you guys in the States probably don't know, but there's a phenomenon where Bali's like the semi-cashed up tradesman bogan. It's their playground, and they treat it with disrespect, not realizing it's actually like a Muslim country, and it's a pretty, you know, well, Muslim and Buddhist, and it's actually pretty. You should be really respectful of the local people, is what I'm trying to say, but they're not. They go over there, they get fucking blind drunk, they treat them like slaves. Typical psychopath behavior. So they're known as Bali bogans, and they go over there because it's cheap, so they can feel like rich. And I've had a few of my friends who would, well, ex-friends who would fall into that category, and they'd always say, man, you live like a king over there for fuck all. And it's like, yeah, you treat them like slaves. I'm like, yeah, okay, do you like that, do you? Do you enjoy that? So Bali's probably the biggest place where Australians maybe aren't greeted with universal hospitality, but I've never been to Bali, so probably will one day. But there's places you go like Kuta, which are typical of that aesthetic, but then you go to other places and they're a little bit more either refined or possibly just bougie. I don't know. To me, I like getting in the street and seeing how the locals live, you know, and getting amongst it and trying to, as much as a white boy, as white as me can, trying to melt into the surrounding atmosphere rather than stand out like a sore thumb. It's pretty hard to do with my beard and my colour of skin though. Yeah. Whereas, yeah, I've considered doing that. Problem is the markets are rigged against small investors. Absolutely. Everything's rigged against everyone except for the capital class. Whereas, to be honest, I don't know what they hope to achieve, because eventually everyone's just going to, well, you know, it's already starting to happen. Lots of mysterious factory fires happening in the US in the last month or two, isn't there? That's all I'm going to say about that. Just like how there was a lot of friendly fire in the war against Iran. There's a lot of accidental factory fires happening. Purely my speculation. Yeah, there is a metal cruise. There's some punk cruises too. No Effects used to do one. I guess that's defunct now, although knowing Fat Mike, he doesn't mind $1. He's probably still running it. That not being able to find words, you know, really well, but they just go away when you want to use them. It's called aphasia. Really? Huh. I've got really shitty memory. I used to have much better memory, but it's because there's so much happening. Every day my senses are assaulted by emails, phone calls, people asking a million questions, people coming into the shop, people phoning up, messages, you know, inquiries, and you know, demands from suppliers that I spend more money, people trying to get money out of me for whatever reason, junk email, news, catching up with friends, trying to remember everyone's situation, you know, like who's friggin' pregnant, whose birthday it is, you know, who just bought a house, who's done this, who's done that, and my brain just ends up overwhelmed with tiny tidbits of information to the point where I can't remember some even large things. Because it's just overwhelmed. When I just had a tradie job, when you left work, you got to turn your brain off or turn it on to something else. But as a small business owner, you never get to do that. So as a result, my memory's gone out the window because it's in constant fight or flight mode. It's probably anxiety, and maybe it's probably anxiety. But as a result, it's really kicked off in the last pretty much since I got the shop, because having the overheads is a massive pressure, and you got a lot of responsibilities, and you got a lot of people you don't want to let down. Plus, let's not lie, there's also the ego and pride factor. You want to make sure your business survives and thrives. You want to make sure you look like a success, particularly if you want to expand or get new accounts, that kind of thing. Get new clients, larger clients, you need to look like a success. So there's that constant I wouldn't say introspection, but there's this constant self-assessment happening. Am I doing good enough? Am I shit? Am I good? And that adds to the anxiety factor big time. It was a lot simpler when I was in the garage, but you know, we weren't making a lot of waves. We're really still not, to be honest. I've been really shocking with the advertising and the self-promotion thing. Pretty pathetic at it, to be honest. Good man, pay down that credit card debt, Wes. Shouldn't have any fucking credit cards. I know you guys have to have them in the US to get a credit rating at all. Over here, it doesn't work like that. Over here, your credit rating's 0, and it goes negative if you fuck up, but you don't really get a higher credit rating. It's sort of like you've just got a 0 if you haven't fucked up, and it goes negative if you have. Morning, Dad and Mum, I assume. How you going? We cannot keep our tax withholdings from payroll anymore. I used to claim 11 dependents. Jesus. I invest my withholding money until tax time. Oops, I wrote number 1 twice. Stop working. Claim 11. Good on you. I see what you're saying. Speaking of Bali, it's also the rugby teams that go there and make a nuisance of themselves. Yeah, it's always just disrespectful drunk people. Yeah. Same anyway. If you act like a disrespectful arsehole, they're not going to respect you back. I was always overly conscious of how I acted because I felt like I owed them a debt that was incurred by fuckwits like that. So I would go out of my way to make sure they knew I was respectful of them and that I wasn't one of those assholes. Ooh, there's a shredder, a wood chipper out the front operating. A Fargo moment. Maybe his road rage escalated. What are they chopping down? Is it the power line guys, maybe? Yeah, got traffic control and everything. Huh. I'll be damned. We're doing hazard reduction at the moment in Sydney, or Western Sydney, so the sky's pretty smoky at the moment. It's bringing back bad memories, and we're about to go into a, what do they call it, a mega El Nino, super El Nino, so super dry and really hot. So looks like our debt incurred by 6 years of rain is finally going to be called, and it's going to be a bad summer next year, or this year. So hopefully we don't all die. This is less and less to look forward to every year, it seems like. And there's always some massive existential thing just around the corner. And it's not just fear-mongering, it's actually real. It sucks. It'd be great to go back to the 90s where I didn't know anything about anything. Anyway, okay, everyone's talking about their taxes. That's fucking boring. It's just catch up on the chat. Legends. People can't get money from me because I don't got none. Fair enough. Alan, how you going, mate? Credit makes cheap things dear. Yeah, it does. Hey Brad, say how long have you had the shop open? We opened in 2020. October 2020 we opened the shop, but I was full-time for 5 years before that from the home workshop, and I was part-time as of October this year. Brad's Guitar Garage is hitting its 20th anniversary. Brad's Guitar Garage has been registered as an Australian business since 2006. So there you go. Hang on, maybe it's already happened. When was my business registered? That's when I started doing work for the shops. ABN lookup. 2005. Oh, I'm already over 20 years. So yeah, October's always a very critical year. I registered it in October 2005. And yeah, so we'd be up to the 21st year. Jesus. Time flies when you're having fun. Hey Brad, I'm thinking of getting into the repair business. Got any tips? Don't. To be honest, I think this is going to be a trade that's very specialized. It'd be like, I want to get into hot rodding cars. A lot of investment, very little return. Probably your best bet. How old are you, coolest McGuy? I'm guessing with a name like that, you're probably under 20, 30, maybe not. It's incredibly time consuming, incredibly expensive to get tooled up and get stock, that kind of thing. Unless you're specializing in like one product, like I just work on vintage tube amps, that'd be easy as. If you've got a local scene that you can do that, vintage tube amps, no overheads, just do like 2 or 3 amps a week at home. High ticket price, like high hourly rate, or well, just a lot of hours. So like expensive amps being repaired expensively, where you don't need 21. Okay, I wasn't far off. Okay, so you got most of the tools already. The thing is, I still need tools because I'm a sprawling fucking dumbass that wants to do everything all at once. If I just did like vintage tube amps or something, like if I was just doing what like Lyle did, but I don't have that kind of concentration of those kinds of amps around in Australia. So I need to be diverse and work on lots of stuff, which makes it very annoying. I have to buy tools like the thing I showed you before, the 500 series power supply. Before you know it, 50% of your tools are specialized. I also do the instruments as well, the guitars. So, and I also do woodworking, which now I don't so much, but I use those tools for working on guitars. So I've got like 2 workshops and 3 sets of tools essentially. I've got guitar and woodworking stuff down here, same shit back at home, but machines at home, and pretty much all the electronics down here. Great name for business, expensive repairs for expensive amps. Yeah. Yeah, buying decent gear too. If you buy shit, to a degree, you can work with cheap tools, but you need to have some things that are good. Like a good temperature controlled soldering iron is a must, but you can get them. A Hakko FX-888D is all you need, and you can get them for like $200. But if you try and do it with like a $50 iron, you're going to just destroy shit. So there's some stuff, there's a certain tier you've got to be above to be adequate. But then stuff like, I don't know, screwdrivers, just get anything that's decently hardened. I like the Weeha stuff, but there's other brands that are equivalent. It's a sad thing, but there are a lot. Okay, so the baby boomers are starting to die off, let's be honest. There's going to be a lot of deceased estates out there of people like myself who have worked on this shit for the majority of their lives, and their family doesn't even know what the fuck half those tools are. Keep an eye out for auctions for tools, second-hand stuff, new old stock components, things like consumables like wire reels and stuff like that. You can really get some good deals there. It's sad, but this technology was state of the art for baby boomers, and as they get older, they're either retiring, getting rid of their shit, or they're hoarding their shit until they pass away, and then their family gets rid of it at practically for free. Keep an eye out for that shit, particularly if you're in a pretty populated area. Get really good at it before you start offering your services. So buy shit to practice on. Beg, borrow, and steal. Don't borrow because you're working on stuff. So if you fuck it up, you've destroyed your mate's bit of gear. But just beg for free shit, broken stuff. Look up for broken stuff online. Practice on that. And if you are in an area that's got music shops and you do want to focus on the music industry like this, reach out to them and just say, look, I can take in this kind of repair up to this scope. Maybe I'm not so good that I can build one from scratch, or, you know, I can't do like digital consoles or something like that. But in terms of amps, just let them know you're there. Chances are they'll dive at the chance to have more repairs done because they get asked on a daily basis. A lot of stuff like that. Got connections in the local scene. Most of the guys retired around here. Okay. So yeah, that's probably Yeah, well, if you're in the US, like flea markets and shit, they don't really do that kind of stuff around here because we don't have the critical mass of population to make it, you know, viable. Go to pawn shops, buy some cheap ones and fix them, rent them out. People need to see your work before they will trust you with their gear. Yeah. When you do work that you're really proud of, run it by some experienced techs. Don't start off and just, oh, I built one amp. I'm the best amp builder in the world, and start an amp company. There's so many people out there who built a kit amp and now they think they're the best fucking person on the planet, the best tech in the world. Fucking Dunning-Kruger shit, man. One of them attacked me in my comments recently. He's got an amp company. He built his first kit amp in 2015, 2016. And now he cites his 10 years experience, even though he's just built kits in that whole time. You can build kits your whole life and not learn fucking anything other than how to follow a drawing, man. Like, so yeah, you need to challenge yourself. It's really hard, man. I'm not gonna pretend that it's fun all the time, or, you know, a big dopamine hit. There are times where you friggin' you think, what the fuck am I doing this for? There's plenty of times like that. So be prepared for that shit, and just try not to put too much pressure on yourself to start with. Just expand the edges of your knowledge slowly. Don't try and fucking do everything all at once. I've been building amps for a few years, recapped a few amps for myself. I consider myself qualified in that regard. It's not a big jump. Okay, but unless you know a bit of theory and stuff, like recap and stuff is pretty fucking simple, and building amps, let's face it, is pretty fucking simple, to be honest. If you're going off existing layouts, if you're designing something from scratch, that's where it becomes difficult. And repair. If you've got a really stubborn amp that you can't figure out, that's what separates the boys from men, when you can't give up on a thing because you've taken it on, and you look like a fucking dumbass if you can't figure it out, and you spend hours and hours on this thing and it almost breaks you, and you think, I'm useless, I'm no good at anything. And then eventually you figure it out, and then you think you're the fucking smartest dude on planet Earth. But at the end of the day, you can only collect a few $100 for that smartest man on the face of the earth. So yeah, you got to be realistic about it. I know my limitations, and I try to push them out a little bit more every day, but it's very challenging. My RS components shipment's arriving. That means I can finish repairing that keyboard. Field repairs are totally different. Yes, field repairs are where it's at. If you can do them, you are now a tech. If you can restore a Fender amp and just restore it back to its stock layout and stock schematic, I think that's only like one step above, if not the same as kit building, to be honest. When you're troubleshooting a complex circuit, that's when it becomes apparent how complex this industry is. The biggest problem with this industry is it's not like repairing MacBooks, for example. You've got a MacBook, you've got one architecture, you've got one set of parts, you've got one product basically that you work on, maybe a few generations of that one product, but they progress gradually across those generations, and you've got similar design principles. When you're working on 500 different manufacturers, each of whom have 500 different products across 50 years of manufacturing, many of which don't have any documentation at all available to anyone, that's what really fucks you up. So that's why this trade is a lot less predictable than like phone or MacBook repairs, that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of the similar stuff, but there's some way out there stuff, and a lot of it's got no documentation, and you're sort of on your own in that respect. Someone has removed this capacitor and then reinstalled it by attacking the cut-off leads back together. That's interesting, isn't it? And it's bulgy. You look at one that's not. See the end caps bulging out there? In this one you can see the aluminium rim on the inside of that wrap. So you can see the alley there, the fold over. On this one you can't because it's bulged out. So even though it's bulgy and it's leaking, you can see some residue there. They've put it back in anyway. Someone's been trying to fault find, and they've ignored the primary problem, which is the cracked solder joints on the output sockets. But that one's physically leaking big time. Looks fine, toss it back in. Well, someone else thought that, didn't they, man? Oh, hang on. Yeezy. Oh, sorry, I saw you. How you going, Tanner? What's happening, mate? Your little emoji there looks very similar to someone else's, but don't worry about that. Catching up on the chat. Well, a 1200 series station still works. Bought it at Apache. Used for pennies on the dollar. Now I have the huge Pace Hakko 203. I have the Weller 2, but tips can't be had. Yeah, that's the other thing, that as tool systems, not just soldering stations, but as stuff gets older and older, you just can't get parts anymore. Tell me about it. I'm trying to restore an Aprilia. Ah! 70s PVs are a good place to start because they're cheap and the PCBs are bulletproof. And some of them don't have any component markings at all, and that'll sort boys from men too. If you've got to trace out a circuit and there's no schematic and no component designations on the board, you don't have like C24, C35, R23, that kind of thing. You've literally got to draw the thing out from scratch and read all the values. And that's probably another good training thing. Trace out some amps from scratch, even though you might have the schematic. Trace it out from scratch, and you'll get to know the architecture really well. I have a 10-inch sub monitor that doesn't turn on, so I need to work on that someday and figure out how to fix it. Okay. My local shop knows I've revived a few broken, ripped apart amps, and they've sold. And that they've sold me, and want to put my name out there, but I already have a full-time job and hesitant to start a side gig doing this. Man, if you're happy with your full-time job, just do it as a hobby, and just tell them to get fucked. If you like it as a hobby, keep it as a hobby, because as soon as you turn it into a business, you got added pressure, you got people trying to take advantage of you. You've really got to stand your ground. You got to be pretty confident in your skill set so people don't take advantage of you, because what they do is they'll challenge your quality of work. If you don't do something perfect, they'll go, oh yeah, but what about that? We don't think you're worth that amount because this other one you sort of compromised on that repair. Yeah, we don't want to pay you more than like $30 an hour, because you got to say, no, my work is good. You can get fucked. Either pay it or don't. If you don't pay it, you can fuck off. You really got to stand your ground, because music industry in particular, people will do anything they can to take advantage of someone that doesn't have confidence. That applies for musicians too. Be confident. Don't let people fucking tell you that what you do isn't worth anything. You're doing a great job of keeping these older amps up and running, but that's not viable future. I hope things go well for you. Sorry? Are you talking to me? And failure modes. I started doing repairs for a recording studio up the road, making house calls, emergency fixes at a different level, but it's really fun. I wouldn't do house calls, because it's too unpredictable. Like someone says, it just needs an ear fuse. Well, fuses blow for a reason, buddy. And you end up doing like field repairs, which are usually pretty shit, just to keep the show on the road. You kind of want to do uncompromising repairs if you can, that make the thing the same or better than new condition, which is what I try to do. Well, thanks for the advice. We'll think more about it. Just keep it up. Coolest guy. If you're enjoying it, make sure you keep enjoying it. Keep doing it. Flipping amps is a great way to learn, as long as you do it safely and you give someone a safe product once you've sold it. That's the biggest thing. Study safe mains wiring, grounding, that kind of thing. And as long as you stay within that, make sure it's a safe bit of gear. Just do it properly if you're going to sell stuff. But yeah, buying and flipping stuff will be a good training method. Buy broken stuff, fix it, sell it. Use the money for that to buy 2 more things to fix and sell. Use the money for that to buy 4 more things to fix and sell. I always start negotiation with, I know what you're going to say and you can fuck right off. What was that? Is it Ross Kemp wrote the book, Start With No, about negotiation? That's exactly what I'm worried about from watching you over the years, dealing with the bullshit from people wanting shit for free. I don't have time to be squawking at people to pay me or whatever. Yeah, just hold their gear hostage, man. That's all you can do. You're not picking up fucking anything until you pay for it in full. And if you don't pay for it in full, if you don't want to pick it up, I'm going to charge you a storage fee. Once the storage fee is equal to the value of the invoice, I'll sell it. And that is called the Uncollected Goods Act of 1998 or 95, I think. So it's actually written in law here. If someone doesn't collect something, you can sell it. And it could be a high watt DR504. If your invoice was to replace the valves and give it a service, the invoice might only be $300 or $400. But you have to sell that amplifier for the value of the invoice, so someone will get a really fucking good deal. And if it's not the original owner, you better call your cousin up to buy it off you for $300 or $400. Because legally you're required to sell it for the price of the invoice, I believe. I'll have to brush up on that. That could have changed since, but I'm pretty sure that was the original act. Different kind of pressure, I'd say. I'm working on expensive amps after all. Yes, you are. And that's the best goal, man. You've kind of got it good over there, Tanner, because you can exclusively work on expensive amps. And let's be honest, not that complex. Probably the biggest problem with those amps is people are having done previous work or been stored in a really bad environment, but you're not dealing with really bad designs. You're not dealing with cheap factory shortcomings, disposable designs, that kind of thing. Yeah, you're dealing with stuff that was built to be repaired, and that makes life a lot easier. Weird question. Does anyone in chat or Brad know any black amp techs or builders? Do you mean black like nationality, not Caucasian? You mean skin? There's some Asian guys over here that work on stuff, but I don't know anyone in particular. Oh no, we do. In a couple of groups around, we've got a large database of techs. Not many, but yeah, they're out there. I'm asking because being on an island with respect to that sucks. On an island? So do you mean that you're the only black tech that you know? Is that what you mean? I mean, I don't see it any different. Most techs are pretty, what would you call it? Pragmatic when it comes to that kind of thing. We don't care. There's probably a few that do, but I don't associate with those people. Let's test these balance resistors because they're almost always out of spec. 164. One's low. Okay, something funny going on here. They're all measuring 164. Why is every balance resistor 164? I'm going to change them out anyway because I don't trust the original ones because they go open circuit all the time. Let me just lift the leg of each of them. $230. There must be some stray voltages floating around somewhere. Okay, that resistor is changing value with flexing. Still 220. I'll change them out with metal film though, because they're only half watt and that's borderline. I like to put some 1 watt metal films in that situation. The one I had yesterday, 3 out of 4 were either out of tolerance or open. And that can destroy your caps. Let me just get a little bin. I think he said he's on an island in that respect, though he's using it as a metaphor. We'll wait for him to clarify. Well, PV was based in Mississippi, wasn't it? Oh, you're referring to digital modeling, also SMD boards. A lot of the modeling stuff, you're just talking board swaps or chip replacement. You could go down rabbit holes there, but then you hit if you invest a lot of time and then you narrow the problem down to it being a proprietary firmware or proprietary FPGA issue, you're kind of fucked. You can't do anything and you can't charge for the time either. Well, you can try and charge for the time, but they just won't pick the amp up. That's the biggest issue with digital stuff. You hit a wall and you can't get anything off the shelf, so you're sort of screwed. Unless you've got a donor parts unit, which chances are if a part's failed in a particular design, it's going to fail in all the other examples of that design in the world too. Notice how I'm cutting the components from the top. That's the only way to preserve the pads in these units. If you try and desolder them from the bottom, you'll rip the pads every time. And if you can't get to the lead to cut it flush with the board, just cut the body of the component off. And then now you've got room, you can get in there at another angle and then cut the rest of the lead off. Try and get it flush with the board surface. You've seen me do this before. C1 will replace, we'll lower the value of that because 47 microfarad is ridiculous. In that application, R97, which is the strange foot switch circuit dropper, will replace that with the same value, just lift it off the board. Let's do a full recap on this one, because it's a good customer of mine and he just wants to see it reliable in the long term. This is the one with the good input jacks that generally don't fail, but their leads only just pass through the circuit board to the other side, so they can often crack their solder joints, but we'll flip the board and have a look. And the output sockets, let me start again. Think before you speak, Brad. The valve board, or tube board, as you say in Seppo land, I need access to all of that, so I'll flip that as well. But what we'll do is probably work on one board, put that back in, and then work on the valve board like we did yesterday. Yeah, you're welcome here, Rhythm in Bites. Anytime, mate. If you need anything, just reach out. Everyone's welcome here, except for the only thing I don't tolerate is intolerance, and I think that's fair. So if anyone in the stream starts acting intolerant, I'll kick them off forever. Because you've got no place here. Plenty of other places you can go to be bigoted and intolerant. This is not one of them. No fucking dog whistling either. You'll see straight through it. Right, should be able to move that board back far enough to be able to flip her up. I was going to get a t-shirt from a local boutique store, a little self-run business, which is really struggling actually, to be honest. Let's give them a plug too. It's called Mount Vic and Me. They're up at Mount Vic. Let's go down this rabbit hole for a second. We've got 20 minutes till the shop opens. Mount Vic and Me. So there's an issue. We've got a main road. Let's start from first principles. Right. Google Maps. So in the Blue Mountains, there is one main arterial road, which is a few steps up from horse and carriage. But it's literally the only way to get out west without taking a massive detour. Out west is where the majority of our, well, west and north is the majority of our mineral mining, you know, coal production, that kind of thing. So road transport's pretty important as well as train transport. So the road transport, desk chair, I've got one new, one new review. Is it positive or negative? I don't know. It's probably just there since I last logged in. So we are not at Terry Hills. Don't know why it always defaults to that. That's around where I used to work. Sydney, right there. We are... Sorry, it's really slow because I'm streaming at the same time. Sydney's there. We are currently right here. Just past the river. So there's the river. And there's Russell Street. And sorry, it's really slow and laggy. And come on. And there is Brad's Guitar Garage. That's us right there. So zoom out. Main highway. That grey road there. Sponsored. That grey road goes to Sydney. That's the main motorway. Then as you head west, you go up the Blue Mountains. And as you keep going, Katoomba, that's a big tourist area. Lura, there's a few tourist spots up there. You keep going, you get to Mount Victoria. So the road from Mount Victoria to Little Hartley has a bridge on it, built by convicts. Not a bridge, a pass built by convicts, essentially. It's literally called the Convict Bridge, and it's located sort of here. That road's closed. I should have gone to Traffic New South Wales, because it'll show you the live traffic as well, if it ever loads. Fuck off. Yeah. Fuck off. Fuck off. Oh, go away, menu. So, go back to where we were. I'm dragging it. Nothing's happening. Okay. Drag. Come on. So, you see there in the orange? It's closed. So, that whole section's closed. Because they found voids under the road. Convict. Do they call it bridge? Yeah, I think they call it Convict Bridge, even though it's not really a bridge. Yeah, it's a causeway. So Mitchell's Causeway. It's also named after Mitchell's Pass, which the remnant of which is just around the corner here. Images. So it was built fucking ages ago by convicts. It was opened in 1832 and constructed primarily by convict labour under Major Thomas Mitchell. Mitchell's Pass is named after Mitchell's Causeway. So recently, 2026 temporary closure. It's been closed because they noticed stress fractures in the road and voids underneath the road. And they can't really tell exactly how long it'll be closed for. It's closed for at least 3 months, warning that the situation is incredibly serious. Let's go to the news. But there's no actual indication as to how long it will be closed for, because they're trying. It is, I believe, it's heritage listed. But that major road means being closed means all the businesses in that area now have no traffic at all. So all the businesses in that area are going to go, bankrupt, shut down, broke at least, if they own their own real estate. So one of them, which is at the top, is this shop. Mount Vic and me. It's one lady show. There she is. They've got t-shirts. They've got a lot of political material. A lot of it being typical bloody lefty. Difficult woman. A lot of feminist stuff. And a lot of just cool random old shit too. They've got vintage clothing, retro clothing, that kind of thing. They got occasionally they get a really cool leather jacket or something, some cool old jeans, that kind of thing. T-shirts. They got kitchenware, that kind of stuff. They got fabrics for people who do art and craft and, you know, sewing and that kind of thing. So check out that page if you can go over there and invest in some stuff and help them out, because they're struggling quite a bit, because at the moment the traffic is being diverted at that point, so it's a constant traffic jam and no one wants to stop. And all her mates' businesses in the area are struggling a lot too. There's also the Lolly Bug, which is down the bottom in Little Hartley. That it's like a lolly shop, sweets, candy, I guess you call it in the US. So they're struggling quite a bit too. And they've been going to like markets and stuff to try and get some income, because literally the highway's shut, and they're right bang in the middle of it. Lots of twisty mountain highways out there. Yeah, if you're talking about out here, then fucking oath. It's so good for motorcycling. It's fantastic. Paul Crane, fuck, a lot of people getting to Lithgow via Bell's Line. Yeah, so they're going via Bell's Line at the moment, Paul, but it's falling apart too, and now the extra truck traffic is rapidly destroying it. So they'll probably have to shut that soon too. Hopefully they get, I think the plan is to get Mount Victoria back online before they probably close Bell's Line and work on that too now, because it's been absolutely destroyed by the trucks, and it wasn't that good to begin with either. Is that a delivery for me? I can hear a truck reversing. Sometimes they come before opening. No, I think that's for one of the shops out the back. Maybe not. Maybe I should open the door. Probably time to open the shop anyway, champions. But yeah, if you can buy something from the Lollybug or Mount Vic and me, everyone would appreciate it, because they're kind of online sales only at the moment, because no one's turning up to the shop. Sad. This is how small businesses fail, man. Only takes a couple of bad months and you're fucked. Colby Jack, how you going, legend? Best apprentice. My best apprentice when I did electrical work was a huge black woman. Okay. Females were rare in the trade. Everyone wanted the new girl apprentice until this very large. Okay, well, I don't know what you're talking about there. So that sounds weird. Where are we? One big motorway going west and not much else around it. Yeah, pretty much, man. There are other ways out there, but you're talking pretty long distance north and south to get out there. It's pretty much the main arterial road out to the west. Lots of fatal accidents. Yeah. Well, there's also in LA. It's not legally required to wear a helmet in LA, is it? I think someone challenged me on another stream where we talked about that. They're like, I want freedom. I don't want someone telling me that I've got to keep my brain in my skull. That's like oppression, man. But yeah, lots of good motorcycle roads out there, Wes. I'm not sure it would be fair to ask your Mount Vic friends to ship something to the US. Yeah, probably not, particularly at the moment. Terry, how you going, mate? What's happening? I'll buy something from the sweet shop and get it posted to my dad in Bega. There you go. I'll just give you the link, man. Hang on. The Lollybug. Here you go. Check them out too. So they're the ones that are really screwed. They're doing what they can, but they've laid off staff. I think they've got like a skeleton crew now. They said honestly it feels worse than COVID, because at least in COVID there was a collective effort to support small business, whereas now you're sort of on your own. Oh, the truck's gone. Okay. I'll leave the door open anyway. It's time to open the shop in 10 minutes. We'll get some music playing. It is a bit smoky though, so maybe I should shut the door. It's not the nice smoke either. It's the bushfire smoke. South Carolina does not require helmets. That is insane. I suppose with no healthcare in the US, you may as well just die if you get injured anyway, eh? Alright, so the board looks in remarkably good condition on this one, so I think we're in for another home run on this. This is fantastic. But yeah, we're doing some upgrades, and there is there was some damage to the circuitry and the valves as well, so the cost is up there a little bit because we've got to replace quite a bit, but the speakers are good, and the preamp valves are good, and we've removed all the problem parts. I was just going to check something first. Check the droppers. Where are we? Going to replace the screen grid resistors as well. Wouldn't be surprised if one of them was open circuit considering the damaged valve. With intolerance even. Wow. We'll still upgrade them anyway. And the heater balance resistors, we'll put some fusible ones in there and lift them off the board, so if they do fail, they won't fry the board up underneath. Just got my chisel. Trusty chisel. Let's remove that silicon. The new silicon seems to stick okay to the old silicon, so I don't remove all of it, but I just get the chunks off. Go left-handed. Reverse double Dutch rudder. Freedom head injury. There's no way I would ride nowadays without a helmet. Hell no. I don't even ride the push bike without a helmet. It's just stupid. Yeah, it's like driving without a seatbelt. The only one you're fucking over is yourself. And what for? There's like zero advantage, zero payoff, 100% risk. You got to do a risk assessment, champions. There's no payoff. It's only risk. What do you get? Looking cool to people who don't give a fuck about you anyway and think you're a tryhard no matter what you're doing? Alright, what are we going to listen to today? Is today my bloody Valentine Day? For Paul. Out of respect for Paul. It could very well be. I do listen to Henry Rollins on KCRW quite a bit, and he plays them quite a bit as well. Every time they release something or do a reissue of an album or something like that, he'll plug it for him. He's a big fan. Let's get a smaller chisel to fit between those components. I don't even walk to the mailbox without a helmet. Well. Oh, really? Their online store's closed. Why would you close your online store? That's like the one sales avenue you've got. What the fuck? Okay, I got no idea why their online store's closed. Let me reach out to them because that's weird. you'd imagine that would be the one place you'd be trying to sell. Maybe there's no one to run it. I don't know. Sorry, bum steer on that one. Maybe they're finally done. Shit, that's not good news. Maybe they are done already. Maybe it's too late. Yeah, I'd never ride without a helmet if only not to get hit by bugs in my face. Yeah, or gravel. There's also the bugopocalypse. I was talking to my mates the other day. I said, you guys notice how you used to go for a road trip, particularly out west or north or south, and well, we're not going on a road trip east, are we? Because there's water there. But you used to go and like you'd have to stop at the service station to scrape the bugs off the window, and now you go for like several road trips and there's just no bugs. No bugs. No Christmas beetles, nothing. Because of overzealous use of pesticides. Possibly also climate change. It's a bit of worry. Really better listening when you can give it some attention and some volume. Check out Ride going blank again or nowhere. Okay. Give it some attention and volume. Yeah. Road trips are great for that, eh, Paul? Because you can really focus on the music and just man, one of my customers has really strong cologne, because even their guitar bag makes my whole storage room smell like it. £2 Aussie spider in the face. Had a piece of gravel hit me in the kneecap when riding once. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I've had that too, Wes. The biggest one was a cicada. Cicada got me in the knee, and cicadas can be friggin' the size of that socket, you know, and almost as heavy. And yeah, left a bruise on my knee. But yeah, riding through a hailstorm's pretty fun too, right down behind the visor. It's just, may as well not been wearing gloves. It felt like I wasn't wearing any. I was riding a little 250cc with no helmet, sunglasses down I-17 and got hit in the forehead by a bumblebee going 65 miles an hour. Opted to keep going. My eyes were swollen shut when I got home. Oh my god. Not swollen from the bee sting, just because bumblebees don't sting, do they? Just swollen from the bruise. Fuck. Helmets are required for 21 and under. Well, yeah, have to go. No worries, Robbie. I'm gonna piss off in a minute anyway too. Just thought I'd give you another little live streamy, stream. Cicadas are vile creatures. No, they're not. Cicadas are awesome. I love cicadas. They're the sound of summer. I had June bugs. Oh, this is spelled June. Yeah. I'm thinking June buggy, like the car. Had a bird hit me in the leg. Just left a mark on a dead bird. Shit. Carbon fiber knuckle protectors on my gloves. Yeah, I've got them too, but they somehow get around them. They're good for road rage too, Wes. It's amazing how many people try and road rage motorcyclists that are wearing full gear. It's like they're dressed like in armor and you're challenging them to a fight. It's like, okay. Just come up and headbutt you. Bee making its way into your helmet while riding is fun. Yeah, I didn't have that with a bee. I think it was a wasp, and somehow it didn't bite me. I think because it was incapacitated by the hitting my sunglasses, but it ended up stuck between my sunglasses. I was riding with the visor open. It was stuck between my sunglasses and the inside of the helmet, and I couldn't pull over fast enough to get that fucker out. Getting little midgies. I think you guys call them gnats. Tiny little flying things that fly around in swarms, usually around dawn and dusk, mainly dusk. Flew through a swarm of them, and they ended up tiny little black dots in my eyes, and I couldn't open my eyes. I'd carefully pull over, almost blinded, and in the rearview mirror, just fish them out one at a time. That was fun. I was wearing sunglasses too, but they just went around them. Wasps are arseholes, yes. They can be. Paper wasps over here are pretty chill. They only eat spiders and stuff. Anyway, champions, it is that time again. So I'll take off. I'll get this thing under control, get it out the door. And today Luke's not going to be around for about a week or so, so I'm going to do a bit of footage. Pardon me, hiccups again. I'm going to do a bit of filming some footage and get some videos edited over the weekend, and I'll drip feed them to you next week. Finally going to do it. Finally going to do it. Got some hilarious jobs lined up. 2 of which are particularly hilarious. I think you'll get a laugh out of them. I've currently pulled the Honda apart, the VFR. I'm going back a few years there. The VTR. Just took the tank off, checking the filter. I didn't realize that all the VTRs have flat slide carbs. They're still constant velocity, but they've got flat slides, and one of the biggest carburetors in a production motorcycle ever used. I think it was 47mm throat, just like your mum. After I'm done with her. And I'm going to get a carb balancer. I'm going to get one of those little balancing vacuum gauges and balance the carbs and set the idle mixture, because I think something's a bit funny there. Hilarious like you're doing a neck reset and accordion. No, hilarious like amps that someone built from my rubbish bin parts. Literally built from old parts that were deemed not good enough for a production amp. Just, yeah, the point-to-point Nazis will fucking lose their shit over that one, because apparently no matter how incompetent you are, or how shit the components are, or how stupid the design is, or how incompetent the builder is, if it's point-to-point, it's automatically magically good. I don't know. If it's PCB, no matter how good you are, no matter how carefully thought it out it is, no matter how high quality the components are, no matter how reliable it is, no matter how well designed or well built, then it's automatically shit just because it's got a fucking PCB in it. I'm just so sick of those fucking... And half of them are builders that don't know how to design a PCB. So it's just misinformation to try and prop up their fucking stance, even though they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Anyway, yeah, some of that shit going on. So be prepared to defend me in the comments, please. No, it's okay. I can take it. Let you know how the smoker turned out, Brad. Oh, yeah. What are you smoking at the moment, Mark? That brisket turned out awesome. I've got leftovers here. I've got to eat something other than beef this week, though. I probably should. I think I'll have a pescatarian week next week. But, yeah, she's a bit... It's been in the freezer. But, yeah, you get a bit of a crust on it. And, it's still frozen. I chop it up and then put it in the freezer. But it's got some ice and stuff on it, so it doesn't look real good, but great marbling. And smells awesome. So that's my lunch today. And then guess what we're going for tonight? Gonna go to the pub for a steak. I might keep that frozen maybe and get a salad roll or something for lunch. Can't be eating fucking red meat for every meal. Anyway, champions. Alright, well, I'll leave you to it. Get out there and have fun and engage with your community. Appreciate art. Eat good food if you can get it. Well, you can get it. Enjoy your coffee at the moment, because you won't have coffee soon too. That's another thing. So really savor your coffee. Yeah. We're probably at the end of this beautiful luxurious period that we've had. So start taking cold showers, get used to them. Start growing some vegetables if you've got land. Get in touch with your neighbours. Find out what you can get out of them and offer them in return. Bartering, champions. It's going to be the future. Beautiful wife just bought something from Vic and me. Excellent. So they do ship. They are shipping overseas, are they? There you go. Yeah, follow her on the socials too. She's really cool. And deals with a lot of shit in terms of trolls and stuff. So, being a bit politically minded, a bit political content, she cops it from all the fucking trolls and the bots. Anyway. Alright, well, take it easy, legends. Have a good one. I'll see you. I'll probably do a live stream Saturday morning. I guess, why not? I might do a walking stream Saturday morning. Yeah, what do you reckon? Walking stream or tech stream? I wouldn't mind going for a walk and around the river. Take yous with me and say g'day to all the birds and the bees. Anyway, I'll decide between now and then. Take it easy. Have a good one.